Revelation 2356. From the 2nd of June 1942. Spiritual downfall. Help from fellow human beings. The whole of humanity is facing spiritual ruin, for the same state is everywhere, the state of unkindness, and everywhere the desire for earthly good is predominant, and this characterizes the human soul's spiritual immaturity. Spiritual striving, on the other hand, is mostly switched off, and therefore the deficiency is only very rarely compensated for, which is certainly possible when knowledge is made accessible to the human being and he now consciously strives to perfect himself. This conscious striving can bring the human being great spiritual success. But precisely all knowledge is prevented. He is offered something as a divine mission which, however, testifies to very inadequate knowledge, and therefore this teaching will not stimulate people to consciously work on themselves either, and it is precisely the soul's conscious work on itself which earns it the degree of maturity. If this is now prevented, then there is also the danger of a complete flattening, for people lose all knowledge because they only turn their attention to world events, and therefore it is of unnameable blessing if spiritual knowledge is cultivated outside of existing organizations where people educate each other to love, to mercy, to gentleness and patience. When the divine word propagates itself from mouth to mouth, every organization is superfluous, for then the human being has everything he needs. He only needs to follow it, then knowledge will open up to him, and the knowing human being will also begin the work of transformation, that is, he will try to adapt himself to what is required, and as a knowing human being he will therefore also be able to guide his fellow human beings correctly and likewise spur them on to participate in the work of transformation. Very few people go to God with all their worries, precisely because they do not want to and cannot acknowledge an eternal deity. And therefore it has to be explained to them by fellow human beings that they only have duties towards the body as far as their earthly life depends on it. It has to be explained to them that they have to put the work on the soul before everything else, so that they no longer consider the body as before. Only then do they begin to become knowledgeable. And now they can pass on this knowledge, first in the closest circles and then also in public, although this is prevented by earthly power. Yet it is necessary to come to humanity's aid because it is in an inconceivable state of hardship and can only be helped on the path of complete freedom of will, through instructions which they can now accept and reject and thereby escape or fall prey to spiritual ruin. Amen.